What if you were sent to fight an army so vast? It looked like a sea of unstoppable warriors. And what if, instead of giving you more soldiers, God took almost all of them away, from 32,000 to just 300? No swords raised, no strategy that made sense. And yet, one of the greatest victories in history was about to unfold. This is the incredible story of Gideon and the 300. The land of Israel was drowning in fear. Year after year, the Midianites came like a plague, sweeping across the land without warning. They destroyed crops, stole livestock, and left nothing behind. Families hid in caves. Farmers abandoned their fields, an entire nation living in terror. Israel had turned away from God, and now they were paying the price. But in their suffering, they cried out for help, and God answered. Hidden away from danger in a small winepress carved into the ground, a young man worked in secret. His name was Gideon. Instead of threshing wheat in the open, where it belonged, he did it in hiding, afraid the enemy might see him. This was not a warrior. This was a man trying to survive. Then suddenly, a voice broke through the silence. "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Gideon froze. "Mighty warrior?" He looked around, confused. Surely the voice had the wrong person. Gideon's heart raced as he responded, "If the Lord is with us, why has all this happened? Where are his miracles?" He felt forgotten, abandoned, small. But the voice replied, "Go in the strength you have. I am sending you." Gideon's doubt spilled out. "How can I save Israel? My family is the weakest, and I am the least." Then came the words that changed everything. "I will be with you." Still unsure, Gideon asked for a sign. He placed an offering on a rock. Suddenly, fire burst forth from the stone, consuming everything. Gideon stepped back in awe. But even then, he needed reassurance. So he laid a fleece of wool on the ground and prayed, "Let the fleece be wet and the ground dry." Morning came, and it was so. The next night, he reversed it. "Let the fleece be dry and the ground wet." Again, God answered. Now Gideon knew this was real. Word spread quickly, and men came from all over Israel. Soon, Gideon stood before an army of 32,000 soldiers. Finally, hope. Finally, strength. But God spoke again. "You have too many men." Too many? God knew their hearts. If they won with such numbers, they would say, "Our own strength saved us." So God began to reduce the army. Gideon stood before the men and announced, "Anyone who is afraid may go home." 22,000 men left, just like that. Only 10,000 remained. But God said, "Still too many." Then came the test at the water. Some men knelt down and buried their faces to drink. Others stayed alert, scooping water with their hands. Only 300 showed readiness. God said, "These are the ones." 300 against an army beyond counting. It made no sense. That night, Gideon looked down into the valley. The Midianite army stretched endlessly, like locusts covering the earth. Their camels were countless. Their fires lit up the darkness like a sea of stars. By human standards, defeat was certain. But God whispered, "I have given them into your hands. No swords, no shields." Instead, each of the 300 men carried a trumpet, an empty jar, and a torch hidden inside. It was a plan no general would ever choose. But this battle was not theirs to fight. In the dead of night, they moved into position, quietly surrounding the enemy camp. Silence filled the air. Then, at Gideon's signal, trumpets blasted, jars shattered, torches burst into flame, and the 300 shouted with one voice, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon!" And panic erupted. The Midianites woke in terror, confused, disoriented, afraid. In the darkness, they turned on each other, striking wildly. What looked like a mighty army collapsed into chaos. Men shouted. Camels scattered. Fear consumed them, and they fled. Israel didn't win by strength. They didn't win by numbers. They won because God fought for them. Gideon, who once hid in fear, now stood watching a miracle unfold. He had started as the weakest, the most afraid, the least likely. But God doesn't need strength. He doesn't need numbers. He only needs obedience. So when life feels overwhelming, when the odds are against you, when you feel unqualified and afraid, remember Gideon, because sometimes God reduces your strength so you can finally see his power. And when he fights for you, even 300 is more than enough.